sometimes, Tony. As I was mentioning to you earlier, we believe Santa Monica PD undercover vehicles were following that Range Rover, and then at some point in time, they allowed CHP to get on to this pursuit, and it looks like CHP is back on the Santa Monica Freeway, or on the Santa Monica Freeway, and there's the suspect vehicle. For a moment there, Tony, I thought we may have lost him when he went underneath the freeway, but now we're on the Santa Monica Freeway, headed eastbound towards the 110, so leaving Mid-City, heading into the downtown Los Angeles area. And boy, Tony, the driver has been desperate, driving at extremely high rates of speed, almost hit a vehicle going into oncoming traffic on Vermont just a moment ago. And then we're trying to piece together, Tony, exactly who this individual is. According to Santa Monica PD, they told us it's a murder suspect, and then we sort of put two and two together. We don't know for certain, but it could have been that murder that occurred in the parking lot next to the pier Sunday night. That part not confirmed, but right now it looks like CHP will take over once again. Santa Monica PD has backed off, but you can see the vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed, up to 90 miles an hour, swerving in and out of traffic on the Santa Monica Freeway eastbound. We're just south of the buildings in downtown Los Angeles, but Tony, this suspect is desperate to get away. We believe it's a man from the initial reports that we have driving the vehicle, but we don't have any further information as to whether or not there may be more people inside that vehicle.
Wow, Scott, and approaching 100, there we go, passing 100 miles an hour at this point on the 10 freeway going east. And I mean, and the fact that there's not that much traffic, the fact that he's able to get that fast this time in the morning, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, the East Santa Monica doesn't have a lot of volume. If you're westbound, it's a whole different story. But boy, look at that abrupt maneuver to get off. I think this is going to be on Central, if I'm not mistaken, getting off of the Santa Monica Freeway. And boy, that was a quick turn. We've seen the vehicle go through a bunch of red lights. That was a red light, and almost lost control of the vehicle. And it looks like now getting back on an on-ramp that I believe may be a frontage road to get him off of the freeway or to get just back on the Santa Monica Freeway eastbound. So you could tell from what you just saw there, Tony, the suspect's extremely desperate to get away. There is an LAPD helicopter overhead. The vehicle's, open up for me, Marcel. The vehicle's traveling at such a high rate of speed, I don't believe the CHP units are right behind him any longer. They just don't feel it's safe to do so at well over 100 miles an hour. Not a lot of volume on the East Santa Monica, but there will be in a moment, depending on where the vehicle goes. It gets on the 5 northbound, it'll be jammed. Gets on the 5 south, it won't be too bad. If it continues out of that East LA interchange on the E60, the volume isn't too bad either. But you can tell, Tony, a suspect is desperate to get away, and these are the type of situations when we see driving like this that are extremely dangerous for the public. I've seen so many innocent people killed in these types of pursuits. It's really sad. Once again, the patrol cars have backed off. It looks like right now they're in what would be a surveillance mode from the air. They certainly haven't backed off on the pursuit, and since it's a murder suspect, they will not. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like the vehicle's going to get on the northbound side of the 5 here. We'll have to see where it comes out. That's with the 10 and the 5 north. And if that's the case, we get up towards the 10 by LA General Hospital. We're going to see some very slow traffic, and that's when things get dicey, when the suspect gets stuck and can't get away. So we'll see what happens here in just a moment.
And Scott, you said that this started in Santa Monica. This is Santa Monica Police. This is their possible murder suspect that they initially were pursuing?
Yeah, I don't know if it started in Santa Monica. We picked it up in the West Valley someplace when we first heard it in the San Fernando Valley. But it appeared to be Santa Monica PD undercover agents that went into pursuit and then asked CHP to help them. So it was Santa Monica was the primary on this pursuit originally, and then they handed it off. And then it was from Santa Monica PD, I believe, that they said it was a murder suspect. So from there, we just started to piece things together. So as I mentioned to you, once you get northbound on the 5 and you get up towards the 10 by LA General Hospital, traffic is stopped. And now you see the CHP units right behind this vehicle. And this is when things really get scary. You've got a suspect that's desperate to get away, possibly a murder suspect, possibly involved in that murder in Santa Monica we talked about Sunday night in the parking lot by the pier, and now CHP right behind the vehicle. They do not want this person to get away. They have a helicopter overhead, and boy, we've seen some pretty erratic driving. This is when things can really get dangerous, Tony.
And at this point, we don't know if this suspect is armed and dangerous, right?
Correct. I mean, they're going to treat this individual as if they are. They don't know for sure, but you're tracking what they believe to be a murder suspect. So they're going to take every precaution as if this suspect is armed and has a gun. There's no question about that. And when you get a standoff, that's when things get scary. When this vehicle gets into a situation where it can't continue any longer, gets into stop traffic. And traffic is like this for miles, up to about the 110 freeway, up into Lincoln Heights. And right now you can see just desperate maneuvers to get away, extremely dangerous. Is that a transition road? It may be, from the 5 northbound, and this may be onto the 10 freeway eastbound. Now, if that's the case, and he gets on the 10 eastbound is wide open all the way out into, say, Alhambra and El Monte, and that appears to be what's going to happen here. So I think we're going to see some really high speeds all of a sudden as the continues eastbound on the 10, leaving that downtown Los Angeles area. But boy, the patrol cars are still right behind him right now. I won't get away from the helicopter, but his speeds get up above 100 miles an hour, and he's swerving in and out of traffic. You may see the CHP vehicles back off.
Yeah, now going 105, 108, 10, 12, I mean, plus miles an hour. Yeah, he is gaining a lot of speed there as it freeway just opened up as it got back onto the 10 there. You said at one point on the surface streets that he almost hit another vehicle?
Yeah, it was very close. Went into oncoming traffic, swerved to get around a red light, and at one point in time, they came very close. There was a pedestrian walking out in front. That was a dicey situation. Also went through a red light, hit what would be a bump in the roadway, and almost lost control of the vehicle. But now you're seeing speeds well over 100 miles an hour, swerving in and out of traffic. I think the CHP units have backed off at this point in time, but extremely dangerous conditions right now in the 10. The only thing we have going for us is that there is not a lot of volume, but there you see CHP is right behind him. And you know, Tony, in a lot of situations, you know, let's just say this individual was wanted for running a red light. They would just back off and let him go. But if this is actually a murder suspect, wanted in connection with a murder out of Santa Monica, they're not going to back off, because if the suspect makes a run for it, they don't want him to get away. So they want patrol cars or units right behind them so that they can apprehend that individual. But we are seeing extremely high rates of speed from that Range Rover now. Traffic eastbound on the 10, cross to the 710. We're in Alhambra, out to the San Gabriel Valley. If you continue on the 10 eastbound, you go all the way out to the 605 in El Monte, be all the way out into the Inland Empire. And the majority of the time for the morning commute, all the volume is westbound. The eastbound 10 looks wide open for miles.
Wow, and we just saw him reach like 140 something miles an hour. He's really gaining some speed there, and that presents obviously some major danger issues when it comes to the road and all these other people driving next to him.
Yeah, no question. I think what happens sometimes, our angle gets such that it will be a little exaggerated. I think the vehicle had been traveling up around that speed, just over 100 miles an hour. I say that because, you know, the normal traffic is about 70, right? People are doing a little more than the speed limit when there's nobody out there. And more than likely, the vehicle's doing 105. That looks accurate. But if you see it pop up to 140 real quickly, it just means the GPS is relocating and our angle is such that it popped up to that. Because I don't believe the vehicle has reached that type of speed. But that sort of gives you some idea what we're looking at. But 100, 110, sure, and that's extremely high rate of speed. As I look out in front, though, there's no traffic whatsoever on the eastbound 10 for miles, so the suspect is going to be able to continue drive at this high rate of speed. And fortunately, though, Tony, there's not a lot of volume, so we don't see the suspect have to get really close to any other vehicles or make any really abrupt maneuvers. But boy, you know, you're just driving on the 10 eastbound and you're doing 65 or 70 or whatever. You don't really notice this vehicle coming up from behind you, and then you make a little bit of a turn, and all of a sudden you could have a horrible crash.
Absolutely, and as we see this continuing to just play out, just like you said, just being so open, this freeway, the eastbound lanes at this time in the morning, of course the westbound is where that volume is. And he's just going to be able to, or at least he or she, we believe it's a man, right, just continue to keep going east. And the CHP will just continue to follow him, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the case in a situation like this. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look like they would be able to do anything like a spike strip in a situation like this. You certainly could not do a pit maneuver at these types of speeds, so that's pretty much out of the question. A spike strip could be possible, but it'd be very difficult when you have this much volume on the roadway to try and throw a spike strip out when that vehicle came by. So I doubt we're going to see that. But at this point in time, whoa, look at that. Holy cow. So that is so dangerous. Get off the freeway. This is, let's see what street this is going to be. It's going to come off on a major, maybe Garfield, I'm not sure. San Gabriel Boulevard. But boy, that was close, Tony. And you see CHP, they are not going to let this guy go. You got a murder suspect. They're not going to back off completely. They want to take this suspect into custody. And what's really sad, Tony, is situations like that kill people. So many of these pursuits I've covered, innocent people have been killed just driving to work. This guy's going through red lights into oncoming traffic, doing speeds here. This has got to be like 70, 80 miles an hour in a place that's posted at 35 to 40. So it gives you an idea just how dangerous this is.
Yeah, I mean, when you're driving to work or whatnot at this time in the morning, you don't expect somebody to be driving. And at some points, he's even going in the middle lane there that could be people making turns and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, this is this is San Gabriel Boulevard, it looks like at this point?
Correct. We're on San Gabriel Boulevard. We're headed south down into Whittier Narrows. We left the 10. We're headed down towards the 60, if that gives you a little perspective. But from what I've seen in the past, when you have a suspect that's this dangerous, this desperate, it's extremely dangerous. We've seen him make some extremely abrupt turns. It looks like he has no indication that he's going to pull over or slow down or anything like that, and that makes these situations extremely dangerous, and they usually don't end well. When you have a suspect in a vehicle like that, that's a heavy vehicle, it's a Range Rover, it's probably, I don't know, 5,000 or 6,000 pounds, and there's a lot of inertia, a lot of momentum with that vehicle. If it runs into another car, somebody can be seriously injured or killed very, very quickly. We're seeing high rates of speed, and we're seeing the vehicle continue southbound on San Gabriel Boulevard at Paramount, and basically it's going to run, the individual's going to run into the 60 freeway here in a moment. Oh, my goodness, that was close. Oh. Yep. I almost would have ended it. If he would have ran into that pole, I would have stopped him. Oh, they slowed down. It looks like they're doing the pit maneuver. They're going to try and push him. And now if they could stop him, the officers are out with their guns drawn. They've got him pinned with that door. And, boy, it looks like they're going to be able to take him into custody. Be careful here, though. If that suspect reaches for a weapon, they will open fire. There's no question about that.
Man.
And they have the suspect down and in custody. So, wow, fortunately nobody got hurt. But look at the way they are swarming that suspect. They knew they had an individual they were very concerned about. He almost lost control of that vehicle and ran into a light pole, and CHP was able to pin the door. Perfect timing, pin the door, the driver's side door, so the suspect couldn't get out. Then they rushed him quickly, yanked him out of the vehicle, and it looks like this ended without incident. So that's fantastic, because I was really worried following this that some innocent person was going to get hurt or killed.
Yeah, like a best case scenario ending to a pursuit that was reaching speeds 105, 110 plus miles an hour. I mean, great to see it end like this. Again, if you're joining us, this was a Santa Monica murder suspect that they were pursuing, and we possibly, and we reported on that murder yesterday. It was an overnight murder that happened going into Monday morning, and the suspect was at large still. So we're obviously going to reach out to Santa Monica Police, get more information on this, as well as the CHP, as they have that driver on the ground there off of, what is this, Paramount Boulevard at this point?
Yeah, it's Paramount right before the 60. I think we're going to be in the San Gabriel Valley, but I think this might be Rosemead if you're looking at a city. So Paramount, if that's your drive, it's southbound lanes that are shut down, and they'll be shut down for a while. They're going to have to take this guy into custody, look inside the vehicle, things like that. But there's a pretty good alternate around it, so I don't see that we're going to have extremely heavy delays of traffic in the area, but Paramount will be blocked for a while. And boy, what a perfect ending to what was an extremely dangerous pursuit, where they were able to pin him in with that patrol car and then yank him out of the passenger side door.
All right, Scott, thank you so much for that. We got to head to commercial break, but we'll be back with an update on this in just a bit.